Hello, and welcome to Google versus the Librarian. In this presentation, I will discuss the librarian's role in a Google world, as well as how technology is nothing to be threatened by, but something to embrace in the librarian profession. When we think about the differences between Google and librarians, the most obvious difference is Google takes place in a virtual, online world. The interaction is between the user and the computer, phone, tablet, or any other device being used to access Google's website. In contrast, a librarian is a real, live person. Even when dealing with librarians in a virtual context, such as text a librarian or chatting online with one, the entity behind the interaction is entirely human. So clearly there are some differences between Google and librarians. Something else to consider is what one interaction can offer that the other does not. Librarians provide something that Google quite simply cannot offer. When you are interacting with a librarian, there is a relationship that is being formed. This relationship comes from the human-to-human interaction between the librarian and the searcher. Something else that Google cannot provide is the camaraderie that develops from sharing stories and memories during the search process. These stories and memories can also add context to the search, making it more successful. Finally, there is just no way to have a friendly conversation with Google. There is no give and take in that transaction. With a librarian, that interaction is shared between the librarian and the searcher. This relationship is especially important during a stressful or emotional search inquiry. So given the differences between the experiences, where does this leave Google? Is Google the enemy of librarians? Is it unnecessary? Absolutely not. There is most definitely a place for Google and other technologies in modern librarianship. When it comes to the Google versus the librarian argument, there really is no competition. Google is simply a tool for librarians that puts ready reference at our fingertips. This simple search tool allows for librarians to get the quick searches out of the way in order to get to the deeper issues of the search. What librarian wouldn't want a tool that made our jobs easier and faster, and one that allowed us to better serve our patrons? Google is a really good example of technologies that librarians should be embracing instead of competing against. Along with Google, the following technologies can be utilized by librarians to better serve their patrons. Instant messaging, or IM reference, is a great way to connect with patrons in a virtual interface in real time. Patrons can log on from the comfort of home, from school, or anywhere else they can get a secure internet connection in order to get reference questions answered. Even though this is not a face-to-face interaction, the patron is still treated to a personal connection with a librarian. Wikis are a great way to create subject guides, especially because they can be crafted in a collaborative way with multiple people adding to the content. Blogs and RSS feeds are an interesting way to share library news. There are multiple options for creating blogs online for free, and even though Google recently announced that it would cease to support Google Reader, a popular tool for subscribing to blogs and RSS feeds, there are many alternatives out there that provide this kind of service. One of the most used and probably most popular technologies used by libraries to connect with their patrons are social media sites such as Facebook and Twitter. These sites provide opportunity to reach out and communicate with patrons via likes on Facebook, tweets, and comments. Now it seems that another popular argument is, well, we have Google and the internet, isn't that basically replacing librarians anyway? When I think about ways to respond to this, I think, well, sure, we have Google and the internet, but these are tools for librarians, not alternatives to replace them. These tools are used to enable librarians to better serve their communities. When it comes to Google and other technologies, the role of librarians is simple. Embrace the change and do not be afraid of it. When librarians get stagnant, we become obsolete. Instead of worrying how technology will replace you, think about how you can integrate technology in order to make your job easier and also in order to serve your community to the best of your ability. I'd like to thank you very much for your attention during this presentation. I have really enjoyed the semester and I want to wish everyone good luck in the future.